Hey guys, so I'm about to head to a Super Bowl party with one of my girlfriends, and I just want to make an update on my social anxiety because I'm feeling really anxious right now. I know a lot of you have questioned whether or not I have social anxiety just because I seem so outgoing on my videos, but I do. So a lot of my social anxiety actually stems from my eating disorder, and I already have a lot of difficulties leaving my house and especially going to meet people that I don't know. And if I am able to get out of the house and go places where I don't know people, then it's even harder for me to actually interact with them. I get really socially awkward. I interrupt people. I say things that are random, or I talk about myself too much, or I don't ask enough questions. And also the whole time I get really self-conscious about what people think of me and how skinny I am or I'm not, and when there's food involved, it gets even harder. I usually change my clothes like 100 times. I'm not being sarcastic. I've literally done it 100 times. So now that I'm in recovery from my eating disorder, things have been better, but it's still really hard for me to go out and hang out with people. So today's a good example of that. So I'm going to this girl's apartment. I'm going with one of my best friends, and she knows about like everything. I've met this girl twice, and she's really nice, but I don't know anybody else that's going to be there. Plus, there's going to be a ton of unhealthy food, which is not fun for me because in the past, I would tend to just eat like everything in sight or eat nothing at all, and so it's really hard for me to stay balanced. I know there's going to be alcohol involved, which really just makes my anxiety even worse. And I don't really care about the football game, to be honest. I love sports. I just tend to not really like professional sports. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. I don't really like pro sports, so and I didn't grow up really with football because I'm from Oregon and we don't have a pro football team, and I'm in Denver now, but the Broncos sucked this year. So yeah, overall, I would say my social anxiety is probably better than it was about a year ago when I made my video called Battling Social Anxiety. I'll link it here. There it is. If you haven't seen it, I'll link to that. But it's still really difficult for me to go out and stuff, and I'm having a lot of friend issues with people from school and people in my life and everything, and so I feel really isolative, and it's super easy to just stay in my apartment for like 3 days straight, and I do it all the time. Um, yeah, like all the time. So I know that's not healthy, but it's just really hard to, like, how do you meet people, you know? I don't really like meeting people at bars because they're tending to only want to, take me home, and that's not really making friends, you know? I've actually met a lot of people through the internet, which probably sounds really sketchy, but it works for me. I meet people through Twitter here in Denver, and I'd say probably 90% of my friends in Denver are all from Twitter, and they're awesome. And if you don't have Twitter, I've talked about this before, but if you don't have Twitter, then you probably don't understand how you could like meet someone through Twitter. That's not really the point of it. But there's tweet ups and, excuse me, I've met people from it, and it's actually been really amazing for me. Like last night I went to a movie with 5 people, and they were all from Twitter, so I had a really good, and they're all my age and stuff. So I had a really good time. Um, but it's hard meeting them for the first time. Like, I had so many anxiety attacks on the way to meeting people for the first time, and it's just really stressful, and pretty much none of them know about my eating disorder, so it's the same with any friends, like how soon do I tell them or not tell them. I just hate feeling awkward, and I know I look really good on paper, like I'm not trying to like be arrogant, but like I'm fairly pretty, I'm getting my master's, I've traveled around the world, I come from a good family, like I know I have things going for me, but I just don't feel it, and I lose it all in the moment, and I just don't know how to people. I carry stress balls around with me. I'm finally back on medication, so I'm hoping that's going to start kicking in the next couple weeks and helping me just be more active and get things done, and meet people, and I don't know. I just feel so awkward and so uncomfortable all the time. And if you know me, I know some people on YouTube who watch this like know me or whatever. And hopefully this doesn't come across as a surprise that I feel so uncomfortable in social situations, but I do. That's the reality of it. It's something I'm definitely working on, and my therapist works through it with me all the time and everything. I'm about to start shaking. I'm so nervous about going to this stupid party when I don't even care. Like, it's really not that big of a deal, but I'm trying. And I didn't change my outfit one time at all, which is really nice. I'm just wearing a black t-shirt, skinny jeans, my favorite boots, and a bracelet. It's a real simple outfit, and I knew it was gonna fit me and everything, so I wasn't too stressed about it. But it's hard for me to separate with my social anxiety which part is my eating disorder and which part is my anxiety. I never thought I even had anxiety really until I went to treatment, and then I realized that I actually have some pretty severe anxiety. Um, and it was something I was not really aware of just because everything was so enmeshed with my eating disorder that I couldn't tell that that's what it was. I thought that was just a symptom of my eating disorder. And of course, my anxiety got a lot worse when I started recovery because I wasn't using all of my behaviors that released all of my anxiety and made me like it was self-soothing and comforting. And so when I wasn't able to do any of that, I like totally freaked out. But now that I'm like fairly moderated food and exercise wise and everything, I'm realizing that I still have really severe anxiety and it's pretty debilitating. Like, I freak out all the time. I don't really know how to explain it. I've talked about my anxiety a lot. I have a couple different videos that talk about my anxiety, but it's not fun. And caffeine makes my anxiety like exponentially worse. So I've been trying to cut out coffee. I used to drink almost a pot of coffee every day, which is terrible, because it literally would make me like shake. And I already shake a lot, and so that was pretty bad. I mean, I still drink Diet Coke, but I used to drink like a 12 pack a day, and now I drink like one. So I feel like that's okay. There's not that much caffeine in it. And so I'm trying to cut it with the caffeine because it doesn't help. And if I put on some dance music and take a shower, that actually wakes me up more than coffee does. So, whatever. Okay, well, this video is getting long enough, so I'm gonna go some deep breathing and do some art and suck it up and go to my party. But thank you guys for watching, and if you have any more questions or want another follow-up video on my anxiety, let me know, and take care and do well. All right, bye. Hey guys, just an update on how everything went, part two. The Super Bowl party went pretty well. Turns out that everyone there pretty much knew each other, so it was kind of awkward, just because it was all like coupley and all these people that went to college together and then like me, but it was okay. Like, people were friendly, just everyone was like really drunk, but there was a ton of food there, which was kind of difficult. I didn't really eat super well. It was more like snacky stuff and not really a meal. But I think I did okay, like, overall. I haven't really eaten that much today before that, so I'm sure it all balanced out. I just don't feel really, like, satisfied, because it was, like, snack stuff. But I definitely did not go overboard, which is good because that's what I do. Um, so yeah, I guess I didn't really like talk or interact with that many people. More so, I like mentioned how much student loan debt I had to someone, and they like freaked out on my behalf. They're like, "What? You seriously have 200 grand in student loan debt?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." Um, but I was just glad that my girlfriend was there with me because she's super friendly and introduced me to people and stuff. But she didn't really seem to know everyone there either. The girl's apartment or house or whatever that we're at, she was one of the bridesmaids in her wedding. And so they've known each other forever, but she didn't really seem to know everyone else, just like some people. So that made me feel it made me feel better. Like, I wasn't like the only person who didn't know everyone or whatever. So it was pretty good, and like, I'm sure you guys watched the game. If not, it was, fun to watch or whatever. Most of the people there were Green Bay fans, so everyone was in a pretty good mood and stuff that they won. And then the girl I went with, she actually won $50 because of like she bet on one of the quarters with like the numbers or whatever for the score. So that was good. So she was happy, but I guess that's pretty much it. It wasn't really like a social anxiety test or anything because no one was really interacting with me anyway, which was fine. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I wasn't like super sad about it or anything, but that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go text some friends, watch some TV, and go to bed before class tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys.